All right, words about books. We're bringing you all the latest breaking news, including. Did you know that Arby's is out of roast beef, Ben?
Did you know that Arby's roast beef is like a fluid before they cook it?
Oh, I thought it was a brick before they cooked it, and they had to like chisel it off.
I think it's like a semi-solid that they squirt.
Well, they're out of it, Ben. How are they out of it?
Who cares? Do you order it? Do you eat that?
No, but Momo did, and she's a pregnant lady, so you have to give in to her cravings. And they went, and they were out of roast beef and brisket, Ben. That's like if a McDonald's were out of hamburgers, Ben. Is that not weird to you? Oh my God.
I don't know the Arby's menu. I honestly don't know.
Arby's is known for roast beef, Ben.
That's why I don't go there.
Yeah, I know.
You could get roast beef at the grocery store, and it's better and cheaper.
Yeah, you could do both of those things, but...
And it takes less time to make a sandwich than to drive to Arby's.
Yeah, but hear me out, Ben. Hear me out, okay? Arby's is out of roast beef, Ben.
My God. What is this country coming to?
Exactly.
Arby's, we
sometimes
have the meat.
Okay, so that was words about Arby's.
So yeah, words about Arby's. Don't eat there, but if you do eat there...
Okay, stop talking about Arby's. This is where I'm cutting.
Alright, words about books. We're talking about A Court of Thorns and Roast Beef. I'm Nate, and that's Ben. Where did we leave off last time? I think there were Naga, they attacked, and then they got effortlessly slaughtered by a human and her furry best boy.
This is part 2 of our series on A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you have not yet listened to part 1, go check that out. We're starting in the middle. So when last we left off, Feyre had been trapped in this situation, this Beauty and the Beast type situation. She has to live the rest of her days with the ridiculously handsome and ridiculously into her Tamlin.
And she has to spend time on this luxurious manor where all of her needs and wants can be satisfied, and it's the fucking worst.
This is the turning point in the book. This is where Feyre decides, after much like a different unrelated work, like in Beauty and the Beast, when he yells at her and then she runs away and he saves her from all those wolves and he gets scratched. This is literally exactly that. And then like in Beauty and the Beast, Belle like puts the rag on his wounds and he's like being a big baby about it, but she cares about him. Yeah, but wasn't that a
different injury?
I
think he
really
came
care.
Home with an injury. Okay, all right. Well, that's how it's different, Ben. They split up the injury and the saving part into 2 distinct parts. It's different.
At this point, she has come to accept that she is stuck in this situation, and she's ready to start making the best of it.
Oh yeah, and Nosorio mentioned like an evil fairy king, and he sent some evil spies out, but I'm sure that's not important. So let's make the best out of it. Let's paint. Let's learn to paint. You want to paint?
This is the point in the book where Feyre and Tamlin start to fall in love. Feyre decides she's going to make the best of it. She's accepted that her family is well taken care of and that she is freed from her promise to her mother, and she requests the gift of paints. But Tamlin lives pretty far from the AC Moor, so it's going to take a couple of days. And also, he has a gallery. She's been walking around just staring at this majestic fairy art that is in the hallways. And he's like, "Oh, you like that? Like, cause I got a whole gallery. You don't have to look at the trash art. We bought this at the fairy Costco. This is just like the inoffensive, hotel art that you put in."
Ben, this is exactly why they need humans. Because they can't just magic paint up, okay? You need humans to go to the hardware store or the art
hardware
supply store. I don't
That's
know
where you think they get
paints. The grocery store? I'm pretty sure there's watercolors there. I don't know. Look,
I literally said AC Moore. I
don't know what that is, Ben. Is
I
that
know,
like
because you thought it was
Moore?
a hardware store.
Is that...
Do you have a Michaels? What is near you?
We had a Michaels, and then
I think
it
Michaels is out of
got.
business.
Got him. Also, so is Bed Bath & Beyond, which was in the same strip mall.
AC Moore it's Michael's.
Okay. What about Hobby Lobby, Ben?
I think they stole shit from a rack. They're weird.
Oh!
They might have paints, but you don't want to buy paints there.
They supported the Westboro Baptist Church, from my understanding. So
yeah, don't buy your paints at Hobby Lobby. Tell Tamlin to make sure they don't get the paints at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta send your humans to the right art supplies store, okay?
Yes.
Swear to God, if you come back with a Hobby Lobby receipt, I will vaporize you on the spot.
I'm not going to paint with it. Then I'm just going to go back to hating you. So she's going to paint, but yeah, he's actually got a whole gallery filled with art, but he can't show it to her now. It's not time for that yet. He's going to show it to her later.
Yeah, we gotta build up to it. You don't just bring someone into your gallery. You gotta schmooze them a little bit. You gotta tickle their fancy, as it were, before you invite them into the full gallery.
Okay, I lost the thread of what you were actually trying to imply. I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't.
What?
So
Okay.
when did they go to the Starlight Pond, Ben?
That's a ways off.
Oh, shit. Everyone forget I said that? That's coming up later.
Don't worry. I've already, mentally marked out. Right now, I feel like we've got about 5 minutes of usable material. I don't know why you're in this mood tonight. I don't know if you've been drinking.
I have not.
I can already tell
drank
this is going to be a
yesterday,
difficult
though.
one.
So maybe maybe the alcohol just stays in my body for a day, Ben.
Ay, Dios mío. Okay. So, I wanted to say at this point, I was concerned with the pacing before this. When Feyre talked to the Suriel, and he saves her as the beast did Belle from the wolves, I was afraid that she was going to go back and she was going to go into a depression or something about this news.
That would have been awful.
Yeah. Oh, no. Because, I was getting kind of sick of it at this point. I will admit. I had the words about books rubric in my head, and I'm looking at that organization row where we do the pacing, and I'm moving like I'm just about to drop in a box when Tamlin's like, look, why do you hate me? Why is this not working for you? Genuine question. Let's just set aside all the pretense of being civil. Can you please just explain to me what your problem is? He's like, because I don't get it. And she keeps talking about how she needs to get back to her family because they need her. And he's like, they're taken care of. They're fine. They're rich. They're very rich. I've taken care of them. She's like, well, I need to warn them about the plague. He's like, yeah, I did that too. You know what? I did that too. I put in the fairy spell that if they hear anything funny, to just get out of town. And it really does sound like he's making that up as he goes along. Because if he did that, why wouldn't he have said that earlier? And why did he do that? But
because he's a great guy, Ben.
He's not.
That's
lying.
just what great guy. Yeah, he's not. Because he's a great guy. That's what great guys do. It turns out what it really is she needs to be the protector of her family because she doesn't know what else to do with her life and her time.
That's what the painting is about. That is Feyre's talent that she actually enjoys. Because Feyre is good at hunting and everything, but she doesn't like it. She does it out of necessity. She doesn't enjoy killing things.
I will say that Tamlin should have, when she's like, can I get some art supplies? He should have been like, sure you don't want to go into a STEM field instead?
Oh my god.
Art's cool. Yeah, I guess you can do art, but
yeah, Feyre, somebody has to design our ash wood cluster bombs. We don't need any more painters. Okay. We need munitions experts. I think she's gone about as far into STEM as her world allows.
That's probably true. It probably would also be difficult to do that without, like, being able to read.
I think knowing to disinfect a wound puts her leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else in a medieval society.
You slap a little urine on it.
You were talking about people who unironically rub dirt in it. That'll really get the brain-eating amoebas in there. Make sure you rinse it out with this algae-filled pond water.
If you keep putting enough stuff in your wound, you'll get a super, not infection, immunity. That's it.
It's you got to manage your body the way Australia manages its ecosystem. You just put in another predator to deal with the previous predator you put in that fucked everything up.
Is that why it's a hellscape out there, or were those, like, native life forms?
I'm going to go out on a weird limb and say that the presence of European settlers has never improved a natural environment.
Oh my god.
I think that has been a net loss for everyone else.
You grew up next to an orange river. Are you saying, Ben,
I did,
that was not a beautiful sight of nature?
I remember being a child and referring to it as the Orange River, and my parents just kind of like going, "Oh, yeah, I guess it is."
Yeah. let's
It's not orange anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, now that the steel mill has collapsed and the economy has tanked and all the people have left, the river is cleaner than it's ever been. The wildlife is really rebounding, often where the schools and hospitals used to be.
I guess, yeah, during COVID, like, the water started to become clearer when people just weren't allowed to go into them. That's, wow, point taken, Ben. Maybe if we just pollute the natural fairy environment enough, that's how we can get them.
Well, that's ultimately how we're going to get them. I think that's how we got the actual fairies that used to live all over Europe.
Perfect.
We bulldozed them and we put a parking lot over it.
Thank you, Caesar. Tamlin's
whole majestic estate will be a Walmart in 500 years, mark my words. Or a Tesco, I guess.
No, absolutely not.
So she tells Tamlin about this promise, and he tells her this frankly hard to believe story about how he's taking care of literally everything that could possibly be affecting her. And she's dropping her guard, and I was getting nervous at this point. I liked it. No. I liked that we were moving on. I liked the pacing. But I'm like, this is too perfect. Now, I knew they wanted something from her, but I didn't know what. Because, in Beauty and the Beast, it's
badass.
The curse that somebody has to fall in love with him, or they all stay as what they are. That's
what I guessed. It had something to do with getting those not dumb. I almost said dumb. Those amazing masks that I love off.
Yeah. See, now I thought, like, that can't be it. The masks are not a big enough deal to anyone.
I figured that also, they lost their magic. That was part of the other thing. Like, we've got this plague going on that somehow sealed these masks to our face, and also, we lost the majority of our magic.
So the way they were talking, and this is where I was going to mention the evil king and his evil lieutenant and the weird creation myth. Feyre can't read, but in her adventures to try to teach herself how to read, she stumbles upon a mural that, as in every H.P. Lovecraft novel, explains the entire history of an eons-old race.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god, I did not even think about that, but you're 100% right. That happened. Oh my god. Okay, well, shit.
It shows their descent from the mythical cauldron, which they always reference when they curse. I suspect we will learn more about the cauldron and the creation myth and everything in future novels.
I'm sure it will be used to kill the big bad or something.
But she also learns that more about the civil war between the fairies, where there's this one king who did not fight on the side of the humans. He was the one who was super against it. And he has lost almost no territory. He's got his own island across the way that is going strong. He has not suffered any power loss. And in fact, it was the fairies that fought on the side of the humans that had to like subdivide their kingdoms, and they were weakened for it. But things have been in a tenuous balance ever since.
What a weird peace settlement, right?
I figured they were probably powerful enough that the bad guy couldn't kill them, and also they didn't want to kill him because
they should have.
As long as we're agreeing to end the slavery. Now, he ended the slavery by killing all the slaves, but they probably figured enough blood had been shed.
Not upholding the spirit of the agreement.
Do you think it didn't happen, though? I mean, in our world.
Oh, God. I'm sure it did.
At a certain point, people just get sick of fighting.
Oh, the murdering of slaves, or the just we're sick of fighting part?
No, I mean both.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's heavy. It's a heavy subject.
Stone cold
to
bummer.
make it. Yeah, I mean, you'd think you couldn't capture all that nuance in a mural, but
look, I thought the mural just didn't have any humans really on it at all, because
it doesn't, but she can still glean everything about their civilization from it. It's
obviously it's H.P. Lovecraft logic.
It's an H.P.
You just pointed out, you fucker.
I'm sorry.
You should be. I don't accept your apology.
I mean, it's funny, but look, I was just glad to get some lore. I'm interested in the background of all this, and
yeah, me too. I
think it's an interesting device that she can't read, because it does actually make sense for her upbringing. But I wouldn't have thought of it, because it's just so convenient to have your character go into a library and read a book that explains all the background. I mean, good on Sarah Maas for turning down the low-hanging fruit exposition and opting for the H.P. Lovecraft mural. They're both they're both dumb. I mean, it's dumb to read a book and know everything too. You have to read many, many books over the course of years. The indoctrination.
She also sees a big old bald mountain, Ben.
I don't know why you had to specify that it was bald.
That's what she It's in the book, Ben. Okay. I wrote that down. It's a bald mountain.
Okay.
A bald peak mountain in the center. Isn't that weird, Ben? Isn't that weird? Isn't that?
No, I mean, sacred mountains are a thing.
The world was built by a woman who dumped a cauldron. All right, so now that H.P. Lovecraft knows all this, Ben, where are we going now?
Now, in the context of this, we've gotten all this build-up. Now we get the painting montage.
You're the
where
best
Farah just
around.
Paints.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
She paints everything she's ever seen.
Around.
She is therapy painting, essentially. She's got a landscape of her crappy house where she used to live. She paints every monster that's ever threatened her. She paints Tamlin. She's just painting and painting and painting. And all day, every day. Just going and going and going. And that happens for how long, how much time do you think passed? I mean, it had to be months, right?
Well, yeah, because the book starts in winter, and this is all pre-sexy spring equinox dance. So at least 3 months have been going by during this time. Also, do you want to mention the fairy that lost its wings? Because that happens around here. Some stuff does kind of happen, but most of it is it's painting and painting some more.
The fairy that got its wings ripped off. Yeah, we should talk about that. Why don't you describe that scene to me? Because this is a medical scene.
Yeah, they bring a fairy in, and all he says is, "She took my wings." Now we know that there is a mysterious she out there. No one's saying a name, but Lucian accidentally dropped she before as well. So there's a she out there just being an asshole, took this fairy's wings, and we gotta stop the bleeding. So let's push really hard on his stumpy, broken ass wings. Yeah, he dies.
I thought you'd... yeah, I mean, if that's the
He's
treatment,
dead now.
yeah.
Yeah, the treatment was you hold his hand while he says that he's gonna die, and she's like, "You're gonna get your wings back when in the next life." And he's like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. I would know."
There's two options here, buddy. You either get those wings back, or you die and nothing happens, and then I don't have to deal with the embarrassment.
Yeah, either way, you're not gonna be able to tell me. So
Either way, shut up.
yeah, but
Just shut up.
But Lucian, he vomits and runs out of the room like a little baby boy, who can't stomach the suffering of others. Ben, but Tamlin's like, Farah, why did you stick around with him? Like, you didn't even know that fairy. She was like, well, like, no one should die alone. I didn't want him to die alone. And then I think this is around the time that she apologizes for killing his friend.
She's expressed regret before, but this time I think she's very sincere. This is the first time she wasn't saying it just to try to get out of this treaty.
Yeah, she realizes that, like, these people knew that guy, and he, like, had a home here. They were his friends, loved ones, and she took him away from them, and she's really, really regretful of that, and she expresses that finally, and is, like, remorseful for her actions. So she'll get a lighter sentence in fairy jail.
Well, and I think Tamlin also implies that Lucian is not just squeamish, but is in fact quite traumatized. Because
it's very obvious that the who did that to the fairy with the wings probably maybe had something to do with taking Lucian's eye.
So he's experiencing some trauma as well. There's another gruesome corpse delivery on the day of the sex festival, which is there's a head spiked on their fountain that Farah finds.
Yeah.
She's not very happy about it. She runs screaming.
Weird. Huh.
Can you imagine? Okay, now, I wasn't thinking about this because of the way things play out in the book. But like the story evolves kind of slowly in the book, where she finds that head, and then a bunch of interactions happen, and then people are being real mysterious about what this festival is, and they're telling her like, "Oh, don't put your hand in the cookie jar. Don't do that. You absolutely can't do that."
Jar.
Yeah, and she's going to sneak out and go to this festival, but like, you know what you forget about? You forget that the day started with a head mounted on a spike outside your bedroom window. That would be an indication. Like, if I were Tamlin, I'd have used that to my advantage. I'd have been like...
As an aphrodisiac?
No. I mean, I'm like, don't go, Farah. Look what happened to that guy. We're not playing around here.
Yeah, but, like, also, everyone was still so excited about this sex festival. Look, it will take at least... I'm going to say 8 or 9 severed heads on pikes to dampen the mood of this sex festival. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been looking forward to the sex festival since last year's sex festival, okay? So, like, let's go, okay?
But
not for you. You stay in your room, lock the door, don't come out, yada, yada, yada. I gotta go. My eyes are up here, okay? Do not look down. I am leaving now. Good day.
Do not look at my ceremonial codpiece. Lucian gives her like more of a tip where he says that Tamlin won't be himself. Does he just straight up tell her? No, he doesn't tell her what the whole thing is.
He's not going to be himself. He's going to be like a big old penis with legs, okay? Just
Have you ever seen Clive Barker again? Rawhead Rex. That's a monster he made.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fun. We'll have to do Clive Barker. Maybe we'll do that this Halloween.
Oh my god. All right. Well,
they're also being kind of creepy about, like, lock yourself in your room, set whatever traps you need to set, do not open the door until morning. No matter what you hear, no matter who is at that door, don't open it until morning.
Yeah, they didn't realize that she is 19, so she's the perfect age to be a camp counselor in a horror film. So you better believe she's sneaking out, okay? And she's going to a party/bonfire.
So I was wondering, when she does eventually decide to sneak out, she describes it as being, like, hard to resist. She's called towards it. Did you think that was, like, something magical? Or do you think that was just her curiosity?
Both.
That was kind of like...
This is when she's referencing the drum beat, right?
Yeah.
And she shows up, and Lucian's like, "Oh, hey, Farrah, how's it go?" Wait, what? He, like, does a double take. It's like, what the fuck?
No, that's not the first thing that happens.
3 fairies see Farrah and are like, "Let's do some horrible, horrible things to you in the woods where there aren't any witnesses." And then the most attractive man ever shows up, and with but a glance sends them running away in terror. And then
if
they
you've
have
ever
like this...
read any Korean romance manhwa,
and
this guy is
I'm
the Cold
sure
Duke of the North.
So many have.
You might be surprised at the Venn diagram of people who read Korean romance manga and people who read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm telling you,
and people
it's the
who listen
same
to our
thing.
podcast.
Admittedly, that circle does narrow it down. If you've got interest in one, you will like the other. I'll put it that way. But the point is, you got 2 kinds of guy. You know? You've got, in every love triangle, there's 2 kinds of dude. Blonde.
Jacob and your Edward.
Brunette.
Wow. Neither of them are blonde or brunette. They both have...
Tamlin is blonde, and Rice is black-haired.
Yeah. Jacob and Edward, though, Ben.
Edward had sandy hair, and Jacob was Native American.
Did they all... I assume they just took all this from Archie, right? That's where this all comes from?
No, it's just those are the 2 types of guys.
Okay, all right.
You've got warm colors and you've got cool colors. How's that?
That's much better. So they have some like tense conversation, and she basically gives it away that, like, I'm not from around here. I am different from you, and but he doesn't push it any further, and she bails, and that's when she runs into Lucian, right? And Lucian's like, "Oh my god, you cannot be out here. If Tamlin so much as gets a whiff of you right now, man, like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to explain anything. We're going back to your room."
No, he explains it. He's like, "Oh my god, didn't anybody explain it to you?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he actually? I can't remember.
Yeah, he does.
I thought it was someone else who did, like maybe Tamlin when he plays a little rough.
No, because she already knows.
Okay.
When he gets there.
Yeah, so Lucian's like, "Oh, wow, great. Thanks to you, I might miss out on the sex festival. Thanks. Just super awesome. I'm going to escort you back home so that you don't get by a werewolf." I don't know how else to put it.
You really... Yeah, you couldn't think of a single other way to put that? Okay.
No, I couldn't.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. First thing, tall, dark, and handsome. Did you know he was going to be a love interest as soon as he appeared on screen?
When she said he was the most handsome man that she had ever seen, I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew that he was going to be the High Fae of some court. I guessed he was going to be the High Fae of the Night Court, and I was correct. I guessed that he was going to be an important character that was going to show up later, and towards the end of the book, I definitely knew he was going to be the other part of a future love triangle because, spoilers, she and Tamlin definitely fall in love in this book, and you can't have that if you want a trilogy. There's no tension after that. You gotta get that other love interest in there. You gotta sneak him in there.
Well, I think this is where she diverges from the Beauty and the Beast inspiration. This is where it really starts to become a different
White
thing
now.
No, Snow White didn't have a love triangle.
She had a love septagon.
Oh my god, no. The dwarves.
You're right, octagon, because there's a dude at the end.
No, okay. So this is where she's taking from the paranormal, not necessarily the paranormal, but from the YA romance stuff. Every YA romance had to have a love triangle.
New adult. Thank you, Ben.
It's not a thing.
That's what she classified this book as.
Yeah, they've been trying to make that happen for years.
And they're finally doing it.
Let me know when Barnes & Nobles gets that new adult section put up.
It's
right now.
They already have it. It's the Court of Thorns and Roses display. That's the whole section, Ben.
That is basically a whole section at this point. But, well, set that aside for now. So that was the first thing I wanted to ask. Yeah, I knew exactly where this was going. I did not know how he was going to become a love interest, but I knew he was going to be the bad boy, and I knew he was going to be the bad boy to the
bad boy.
Tamlin good boy.
I thought that humans shouldn't be slaves, but like maybe just a little bit. Maybe like once a week, or maybe like 1 week out of the year, or out of the month. Yeah, let's do that one. 1 week out of the month, maybe humans should be enslaved.
It is... I was going to say, I think he just didn't care, but maybe he did, or maybe he will. She can fix him.
Yeah,
that's the fantasy.
That's how that works.
She can fix him.
See, this is the thing. You've already got your fairy orgies, right? So like, why does there even have to be a love triangle? You can do some MFM. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't it be both?
You only do this when you know I'm editing.
If she's consenting, if all parties are consenting, like, why not? Why does she have to choose? What if she wants to go after both of them?
You know, you're making an argument that I have heard made a lot, actually. That was one of the things with, what did we read? Iron Widow. I read that. You didn't. I explained that one to you. But that was one of the things is like, why do they have to choose? Polyamory is a thing. And that's, a valid thing. I do think there's something, though, with the tension of, like, will they, won't they? That.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could have the tension, and then you can resolve that with, how about instead of choosing, like, we just get freaky? It's a spring sex festival, so...
I think it's, like, look, and because this is going to roll into the next point, I'm surprised she got away with this one. This whole festival. And the whole thing of, like, Feyre better hide, or else she might be, like, we're never going to use the word, but,
You know what they're going to do.
Yeah. Like, if Tamlin sees her, like, oh, boy.
It's going to be like a train full of Toot.
There's a couple of times in this book she is walking a fine line of appropriateness.
I think I saw somewhere that one of the conditions for her being published is that they wouldn't tone down the sex stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll put it this way:
this is stuff.
This and some stuff that's going to come up is only acceptable in fiction, obviously. Like, there's a lot of like fantasy. We talk about this every time we read a romance. We talked about this with Sarah Fine. We talked about this with Twilight, everything. Certain things make romance exciting that in reality would not be exciting and healthy because they can easily very very quickly go wrong in reality. And this is one of them. If Tamlin sees her, he might just...
Death by snoo. There's your clip, Ben.
We need rest. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
It time, snoo. Can't we just cuddle? No!
He does see her. Spoilers. I'm going to skip ahead now.
Yeah.
She gets back to the mansion, but Tamlin's already there. And
is he already there? I think she goes to her room and then she comes out.
She goes to the gallery. He's in the gallery at some point.
Yeah.
And he like pins her up against the wall and he like bites her neck and she's kind of into it, but like,
yeah, I think he said that he would be gentle for her.
Oh, good.
And then
that
bites her neck. Yeah.
That makes it better.
Yeah, it does. I think. I mean, not really. I mean, if she's into it, maybe. But yeah, this is probably a good idea that she went home. It's probably a good idea she went home.
This is one of those things, in a romance novel, where it's a fine fiction fantasy. It gets a little problematic if you say it out loud. So I'm not going to analyze this too much. But I will say, Feyre's kind of into it, but she doesn't want it to happen like this. He's obviously under the influence of something, and it would make it not right. And I agree with the decision for them not to, hook up right here.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea to not do that.
No, they don't go anywhere. So that was good. That was good. He's able to hold himself back, and I think that is the only reason I can just give it the pass I'm giving it. But there's an exchange they have where the deal is Tamlin basically gets inhabited by like the spirit of the festival. And this is like a fertility festival. So there is a sex rite, a woman, all willing participants, but a woman must be chosen from a pool of willing participants. And when the magic has elected two compatible partners, they hook up, and
then everyone else gets some.
Then the party's on. Then the celebration begins. And we kind of saw something like this in Seraphine too, with the water people.
Don't remind me. Fucking water people. They're the worst.
You don't get to sound upset about anything, Nathaniel. You don't get to be like, oh, don't remind me of that. That was so hard for me to read. And then you're just telling me, why not a throuple,
Hey, why not?
Why not?
A throuple. A polycule? Okay. A throuple is a polycule, right?
Yes, but a polycule is not necessarily a throuple. I have no idea. I'm really actually concerned about editing this one.
It's amazing how many... I don't have a whole lot of points, but we're just slowly going through them.
I'm gonna have to do that thing you did with Hunt for the Skinwalker, where I just beep in the middle of a sentence, and nobody understands what the hell you're doing with that. But they don't know you've cut out 15 minutes of dialogue about the difference between skinwalkers and wendigos. So, anywho.
So yeah, they start to get to know each other.
Shush. Shush. There's another thing that happens in this scene.
God damn it.
That he did hook up with somebody that night, and she knows it. And I thought that was going to put much more of a damper on their relationship than it did.
No.
They moved beyond that real quick.
Because he wanted to hook up with her, so that makes it better.
Yeah, I guess she accepts it as like a magic like free pass, I guess. So that's progressive.
Oh, they've already swam in the starlight at this point.
Have they? Do you want to?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about swimming in the starlight?
They swim in a pool of starlight, Ben. That's it. But it's like this romantic little like, oh, well, we do this. And she's like, oh my god, that's starlight. Oh, and then she tries to paint it. And she does. And she's like, I painted this for you. And he's like, yeah, but I want this really sad, tragic one of, what was it? Was there shitty manor? Or not manor. Her shitty hovel.
Certainly not a manor. It had to put 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, and they had 4 people, so someone had to share, and none of them could be used for storage.
The definition of a hovel.
Oh,
my
that's... God, F tier. Am I right?
By the way, you just paint such a beautiful picture with your words. You really captured the magic of the Starlight Pond moment. The Starlight Pond moment is supposed to be this moment of like true romance between them. She describes it literally as the happiest moment of her life, and you just glossed through it like
Hey,
it was a swimming pool
okay?
with a lighting fixture. Like
there's a pool. There's
he takes her
starlight,
out. They have this romantic conversation.
They swim around.
They make out a little bit. Then he takes her to the most beautiful place in the whole fucking world, and he
Do they
kisses
kiss at
her.
this point? I don't think they
He kisses
Starlight.
her. Yes, he kisses her at the end of the Starlight Pond sequence, and
Does
they?
I guess
Yep.
he does. But he kisses her. She does not kiss him, Ben. There is a difference.
The last sentence of that chapter is, from Feyre's perspective, it was the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
It was the happiest I'd ever been.
Yeah, okay, but that's... let's just think about this, Ben, okay? Before
it's one of the most important chapters in the book.
Okay? And after that moment, torture and weird sex festivals that she can't be a part of. So, like, happiest moment, I mean, that's a pretty low bar. You know what I'm saying? Like... I'm sure it was great, but like, you know, on the Nate scale, like a 6 maybe out of 10. Like that's just another day for Nate. Okay.
You know the one thing I wish I would like. I've got many wishes. A different co-host that I never started podcasting, but I'm picturing the George R.R. Martin rendition of that sex festival chapter.
Oh God.
Where, yes, there is a sex festival. Yes, there is. But can we take a moment to analyze the buffet spread at the sex festival? What sort of light appetizers would you lay out if you knew there was a sex festival? You're not bringing buffalo chicken dip to a sex festival, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't want some sort of flaky pastry, okay?
Yep.
That's gonna get caught all up.
It's gonna get
in
crumbs
those
everywhere.
cubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, no.
So
it's like sand.
It's like sand.
The last episode was like, would we be capable of liking this book? And then this episode is like, are we mature enough to discuss it?
I'm gonna go with pigs in a blanket, by the way. Not only because
Pigs in a blanket?
because you can eat that shit, it's not gonna get shit everywhere, and it's thematic.
I wish I could just record the long silence I feel. All right. Well, the only way to know is to write George R. R. Martin a letter, which I'll do tomorrow. So, why don't you tell me about Bat Creature? We didn't discuss the Bat Creature.
Is it the adder?
The adder,
No, I thought
yes.
I thought that was like a snake, but it's definitely a bat creature. But I thought adder was snake, right? Like that's
An adder is a snake. A-D-D-E-R. Yes.
I assume it's spelled differently for the bat creature.
I think so. I think it's A-T-T-E-R.
Oh, yeah. So this bat
Like-
creature is an emissary from someone, Ben. And both Lucian and Tamlin, they meet with him, but they hide Feyre with a what is it? A charm? God damn it!
A glamour.
Glamour. There we go. So she can overhear the conversation, but won't be seen. And Tamlin is being asked if he has reconsidered her proposal. And also, he's running out of time for something, Ben. What could this mean?
What else does he say? He says something like, you know, for someone with a stone heart, you sure do suck. I forget what he says.
Yeah, he does say that. And also, so does Lucian at some point in the book. You know, for someone with a stone heart, yada, yada, yada.
But he seems like such an open and warm guy.
Yeah. It's weird that they would keep specifically mentioning that he has a heart of stone.
It probably doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's probably not important at all. So, that is the adder the first time around. But it is used as an example of, like, there's a big scary thing out there. And the adder is actually one of the more pleasant ones. So you don't want to fuck with whoever this her fellow is. But I'm sure it's not important, and we're just in love, and this is gonna be great. Yay! Feyre actually starts making jokes, and it's actually somewhat, like, good, and they have some chemistry.
I don't think her jokes are that good.
Oh my god, Ben. Wow. For someone with a heart made out of stone, you would say that.
My heart's not made out of stone. It's just, you know, what is it, arterial sclerosis or something? Cirrhosis?
Yep.
I don't know.
No, you got it right. For someone who has a heart made out of cheese sticks.
Yeah. So I think the next point I wanted to hit, now you tell me if we're skipping too far for you. I wanted to discuss the next time we meet Rice.
Oh, I was going to say the summer solstice happens.
Yes, okay. Talk me through the summer solstice. A party Feyre is actually invited to.
Yes, so... Oh yeah, before then he awakens her senses. We kind of alluded to that last time. Now she can see what Alice really looks like, tree person. And she can see that there's a lot more people on the manor. And, yeah. Anything you want to add about that, or let's go to the summer solstice?
Summer solstice.
All right, so they used to do the summer solstice in the summer court, but they allude that something's happened, and we can't do that anymore. And this is just going to be our spring court. There's not going to be any weird, like, you know, assault-type magic involved. It's just going to be a good old time. And everything is going to be great. You're actually invited. And Lucian is, like, playing babysitter at first, almost. And she gets some wine. And he's like, it's the Team 4-star, don't eat that apple, I'ma eat it, except with wine. Like, don't drink it, I'ma drink it. No, do that. And it's already down. She's already consumed it. She is quite drunk. Everything is just, like, so pleasant. She needs to get up and dance. There's some really great music, too. Over there, I'm gonna go over there. And it turns out the player is Tamlin. He could have been a minstrel, Ben, if he wasn't too busy being a ruler.
Do you know how many times this trope comes up in fantasy?
Where it turns out that they're like a super great artist of some kind?
No, specifically where it turns out they're really good at singing.
Was it singing?
Well, singing, playing the whatever. He plays a violin.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, okay, there's no way I missed that. So yeah, no, that I feel like it comes up a lot.
There's no way you missed that. There's no way you missed that he would maybe have sang at some point, but you missed the entire concept of Alice being a tree person.
Yeah, because like that's weird.
I don't
right?
understand you. I don't understand how you perceive the world.
I don't see plants, okay?
I don't see plants. I don't see chlorophyll.
I'm species blind, okay? I just see everything as a human. So, yeah, that trope comes up a lot. I will agree with that. And they start dancing and singing, and then they kiss, Ben.
Gasp.
That is what I wrote in my notes. Then they kiss. Gasp. So yeah, that's the summer solstice. Think they're definitely they were falling for each other the whole time, and this is the seal on that. It's done deal. I think he even tells her that he loves her, but she doesn't say it back, Ben. Why doesn't she say it back?
There is an interesting thing I did start to pick up on right here. The second time he says it. So he says he loves her, but then he will in a little bit say it again. But that time he's like, I love you.
And she's like,
and
I
maybe
know.
You. Maybe you.
Do you perhaps love me?
Is there something that one would say in response to that statement that maybe is customary?
She's like, cool. Gives him the thumbs up.
You're all right. Pats his shoulder and walks away.
And then, and then Lucian just leans over and is like, we're all fucked.
Fair. It's very custom to, I mean, you don't even have to mean it. Like, we all just say that all the time. Like, Tamlin, I love you. And Tamlin's like, I love you too, Lucian. See, it's that easy. If you could just say words.
Please, God, I need to hear those words like now. Like right now. I'm looking at my watch. Sometime in the next 35 minutes, I really need to hear those words.
I think she does have to mean it. I'm backtracking. I think she does actually have to mean it.
Yeah, but she does mean it.
Yeah.
She's even she's like, why didn't I ever say it? Why didn't I? Because then the book would be over, I guess.
I'll tell you what you're going to be wondering in a minute. Is why did you say Claire better or whatever?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just make up somebody? So anyway, let's talk. Can we talk about Rice's next visit?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Ryson. He comes in. He starts making some veiled threats. He starts trying to get Tamlin on his side for something, and he's called the whore of Amarantha. Isn't that weird? Who's Amarantha? I'm sure it's not an important person. And then he sees a cup that's partially drunken out of, and he's like,
well, he sees the table is set for 3 people.
Yeah, and the cup in particular, Ben, and he's like, where'd they go? And Tamlin's like, I sent them away. Or no, that was Lucian. One of them was like, we decided to set the table for 3 people because it would be funny, we thought. And he's like,
they stuffed Feyre behind a curtain. Did you mention that?
They stuffed her behind a curtain and they glamored her.
And they put Lucian in front of her. Lucian's pretending to look out the window, but he's actually looking directly into Feyre's eyes, inches from her face.
Yeah, and then he's like, wait a minute. Wait, what the fuck? You glamored me? Lucian, you motherfucker. I will body you right here, buddy.
You glamour me, bro? You're gonna glamour me? You glamour me, bro?
Yeah.
I'll reach inside your head and tickle your cerebellum.
Yeah, he will.
He can do that. I don't know what that power is, but he can do that. He can just stick his hands in your head and
cerebellum jiggle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then he starts talking with Feyre, and yeah, who's this pet human of yours? That's adorable. You're actually trying to break the curse. That's hilarious. Did she say that she loves you yet? I bet she didn't. That's fucking ridiculous.
He doesn't give that much away.
Yeah, I know. And then he's like, so, what's your name, girl? When you tell me this, by the way, we're going to murder you and probably your whole family. And
he doesn't give that away either. This is Feyre being clever.
It's pretty obvious, though. And she's like, I'm Claire Better. And he's like, he reaches into her mind and finds out that that's maybe true or whatever. I don't know. And he's like, all right, cool. Now, does he
What's
know...
your name, girl? I'm Eleanor Musk.
Oh. But presumably they would not find someone like that. And also, I think with Claire Better, it allowed her to have an image in her mind or something, so he could, like, oh yeah, you're definitely telling the truth, or some shit. That was my guess for why she just got, like, an entire innocent family murdered and tortured.
She obviously just panicked and said the first name that popped into her head that wasn't her own, which is cool. I get that. I mean, look, it's not Farrah's fault. This girl winds up dying, obviously, but it's not Farrah's fault.
Horrifically.
It's the people that tortured and murdered her. Like, you know, you can't blame her for this. But I will say, if you're thinking that fast,
this is also where the book kind of starts to take a tonal shift, as it were.
The Clive Barker, yeah. I don't know why I'm using him, but there's other people that write like gory horror, but very books of blood, you know.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, Clive Barker's Jericho by Clive Barker.
Oh yeah, that was a game.
Yeah.
Most people know him from Hellraiser.
Yeah, I didn't know he was associated with Hellraiser until you told me last time.
Just what?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing Clive Barker this Halloween. Good news for you. The Hellbound Heart, which Hellraiser is based on, is a novella.
Ooh, this is good news. So yeah, what else do you want to do with Rysand while he's here?
So, Rysand gets her name, and Tamlin falls to his knees on the ground and begs Rysand not to tell Amarantha what he has seen. And Rysand is really leaning into it. He's like, Lucian too. And I might consider the possibility that I will not tell. And Lucian has to get down on his knees too, and he's like, please don't tell. He's like, well, now, maybe I won't. But can you really trust the word of a whore? Good luck, boys.
The answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. He tells on her in a hot minute.
Fucking narc. That's why he's gonna lose the love triangle, bro. Because he's a narc.
I wonder if he is. I don't know.
You think he might win the love triangle?
I don't...
I'm still rooting for the thruple polycule, okay?
No, I don't want that myself.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because you're so fucking square, Ben.
Okay, well, first off, I know it's not cool, but like, I'm a one partner kind of guy. And if you're not, that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, my personal preference, if I'm inserting myself into the story as Farrah,
why would you? You're not as cool as Farrah. Why?
No, I'm not. It. That's why I want to pretend.
Stop ruining it.
That's why I want to pretend. Okay? So, like, which of these guys do I choose?
Maybe it should be a Choose Your Own Adventure book. Like, the third installment.
Why are you so obsessed with Choose Your Own Adventure books? This is like, you bring this up all the time.
When, Ben?
You have been wanting to write a Choose Your Own Adventure book for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but I don't bring it up all the time. I bring it up here and there.
I can always tell you're thinking about it.
Go fuck yourself, Ben. Alright, so fine. You don't want the thruple, but you think that she might end up with Rysand.
I think it's a possibility. I think Sarah J Maas is a wild card.
Because she doesn't have those traditional Mormon values, you're saying.
Well, first off, good honor. Not a fan of the Mormon church. Second, I think she's well aware of tropes. And I don't know what she would do.
Are you saying we're going to read these sequels, Ben?
Oh, I already bought it.
Okay, good. Because, I kind of figured we would.
Yeah. No, I already bought the next one. It's sitting on my coffee table right now. But I think there's a chance. I don't know what's going to happen because I'll put it this way. I didn't see Tamlin just straight up sleeping with another girl in the middle of the story. Never would have guessed that would happen.
There wasn't a whole lot of sleeping going on, to be fair.
And second, I did not see where this was going.
Yeah,
okay?
No, this is, we're right at the precipice of something weird.
Yeah, so let's jump into it. So at this point, now that Rysand knows she's here, Tamlin's like, you gotta go. It's not safe anymore. That's the last straw. Get out.
This is where you can take clips from the first part where you're the Suriel saying, do not, like, one more time. All right, read this back to me so I know you got it. Do not leave the side of the High Lord. And
she winds up, they bang. That's cool. I didn't see that coming either, to be perfectly frank with you.
But, Ben, importantly, she still doesn't say that she loves him. It's like,
he's really baiting for it, you know, like I love you.
Like we just banged, and you can't even seriously.
We just made passionate love for 7 hours straight. I love you.
And you. Yeah, that's cool.
And she just slaps his ass and says, "Great hustle."
Yeah, good job.
Ready for round 2? Bam, bam, bam. And then they do that. I'm serious. They do it again. And, she really is just seizing every opportunity because she thinks she's coming back at some point. She thinks he's going to send her away for now, but he'll bring her back when she's safe. And even she knows that's kind of like a delusion.
I'm just saying, like, I don't have to send you away if you love me.
But he can't say that.
No.
There are reasons he can't say that. So she gets in a carriage. She goes back to her family. And this is where I would say we're at the final interlude.
Yes, because she goes back to her family, which I didn't expect in this book.
No, I didn't expect them. So I thought they might hook up, but there was so much book left after they finally get together.
It was weird.
Yeah, that's where I say she's a wild card. She is already, and this gets thrown around a lot in a negative way, but she has subverted my expectations a couple of times now in a good way, in a way that it makes sense for the characters to do this. In so many romances, the characters don't hook up because it's not time for them to hook up because that's the payoff of the book. I have nothing else. There's nothing else here. And Sarah J Maas is basically telling you, it's like, oh, I've got other stuff. This is not, you thought this was the point of the book. It's not. And so that right there makes me think like,
maybe Ryerson has a chance.
Maybe he does. He grows on me. He has the worst.
Ben, what if? What? Okay, sorry. Finish your thought. I've got a what if for you though. He has the worst what?
He has the worst possible start.
Yeah. He does have the worst possible start you could ever possibly have.
In any situation in real life where you encountered anyone who does the things this guy does, you can never get with them. You can never date them because this guy is like insane. But at the same time, like in a fantasy setting, it's kind of like just nonstop charisma. He's got so much more charisma than Tamlin. And the bad guys always do. Like the bad boys always do. I always go for the bad boy in these romance books.
So
like I was always Team Moros.
What if? Well, yeah, because he was the best. Ben, what if there is a third option introduced in the next book? Is that a possibility, you think?
Could be, yeah. So what I don't know is
what if she just like goes around and bangs all the High Lords? Is that?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But I think if I had to make a prediction based on this, I would say Feyre starts this as, she's 19, she's human, she's got no money to her name, she's got no real skills, and she just keeps getting more competent, she keeps learning more about herself. I think she has to get to a point where she can kind of challenge a High Lord on his own terms.
Like, she's going to take the reins. She's going to be the one, pitching instead of receiving.
I think the book will go... Now, this has no bearing on who she winds up with, but I think the book will go in a... she becomes like a High Lord in her own right. Now, if that's as like the spouse of another High Lord, I don't know. But I think she's going to be a shot caller. She's not going to be like a passive queen.
I could see that.
Because I think this goes to, like, obviously the humans are in trouble. And there's no better champion for the human cause than Feyre. But the other thing I don't know is how many of these books there even are. I haven't looked. Because I know Sarah J Maas writes a lot of stuff. I've seen the Sarah J Maas section in the fantasy part of my bookstore. And it's a lot. I don't know if they're all this universe, or if they are, I don't know if they're all Feyre's story. So, like, if this goes, I guess depending on how long this goes, if it's a trilogy, there's only so much room to do stuff. Like, they'd have to whittle it down to one guy by, like, the end of book 2 for sure. But book 2 is big. I can tell you that.
God damn it.
I don't know, like, yeah, it's toughy. It's toughy. So Feyre goes back to her family. The family is interesting. I actually really liked this section of the book, even though I don't normally like when the action starts to ramp up and then people stop it dead. I liked it in this case because she gets back and what's the nice sister's name? Elaine is all happy to see her. She's like, oh, how was Aunt Whatever's? And you won't believe it, Feyre. The very moment you left, some rich man came and asked Father to invest all his money for him.
And the ships came back with all of our goods.
And the ships came back. And my puppy was found. The one that was lost.
It was actually found at a farm upstate. I didn't believe it at first, but yeah.
And yeah, everything's just awesome. And they've got a new estate. They've got a bunch of servants. Elaine is a fancy gardener. She loves, gardening. And she's returned to high society. She's a gardener
who plants things.
She works. Yeah, she's a green thumb. She's flowers. All I know about her is she likes flowers. And you know what? Good for her. I don't really care about.
I know what you did. I know that you weren't really visiting an aunt.
Then her father, he's walking with a little pep in his step now, and I could say that because he actually is. Even his leg seems to have gotten better because
he's Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka.
No, he wasn't faking it the whole time.
Oh, I got a golden ticket. Oh, look, I can suddenly walk. Whoa, look at that. I guess I'm going to the chocolate factory.
For real, though. Fuck Grandpa Joe. And he wasn't faking it. Tamlin even thought of this. He even came with like some miracle cream that grew her dad's bones back. But then there's Nesta. And Nesta's like still all aloof. She's hardly talking. She's hardly saying anything. And then one day,
I know that you weren't. There wasn't really an ant, was there? I know. It turns out all you need is a strong will to avoid a glamour, you bitch.
Okay, she doesn't. I don't know why. I tried to
save you.
I don't know why you're making this so dark. That's not how it is. It's one of the most heartwarming moments in the book, and you're making it sound like
turns out I'm not an asshole.
It is kind of like that, though. Yeah.
Surprise! I actually have a lot of deep-seated issues that I've been working through, and I realize that most of my anger towards you has definitely been directed towards our parents. My bad. I actually tried to save you. I hired that hunter from the village. I tried to go to the wall. I couldn't save you.
Well,
yeah.
And I like how Farah calls her out, because Nesta at first, she's like, it wasn't right that you got taken when you were just trying to provide for all of us, and so I tried to go find you. And Farah was like, well, you didn't exactly make it easy for me. Like, you took my money too. And Nesta's like, and this was kind of weak. Some part of me wondered if all the money was gone, if Father would actually do anything about it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that, Nesta, but what if he didn't and we all just died? Was that part of your weird therapy?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully he would die first, though, is my understanding.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't. Actually, he'd probably be
so Farah and Nesta bond, and Farah. This is another like montage moment. Farah's there for like months.
Is it really
Farah
months? You think?
It feels like it. Yeah.
I thought it was like
Farah
weeks.
and Nesta bond. They talk about everything that happened on the estate.
Elaine has a ball.
Yeah, they have a ball to celebrate Farah. God, I just fucking blanked on Farah's name. They have a ball to celebrate Farah's homecoming, and like then one night they're having dinner, and Elaine's like, "Isn't it weird how Claire Better's whole family was murdered and Claire was kidnapped?"
What? What? Repeat that back to me. Is that what happened?
Somebody broke into Claire Better's family's estate, slaughtered all of them, left their bodies positioned in a strange way, like wrote Helter Skelter on the wall in their blood.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
She got is that the Manson girl got out of jail?
Really?
Yeah. One of them. She's dying or something, so they let her out. It was controversial.
Got him.
So, Manson family aside, and to be fair, these fairies are about to make the Manson family look like a fucking daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farah's eyes go wide, and she's like, I gotta go. Nesta, you're in charge. You're in charge of this
like
family now, Nesta. And the father's like, oh, what? And Farah's like, snap, motherfuckers, wake up. It's all fairies.
And they remember everything.
Yeah, they remember everything. And her dad shuts himself in a closet to go cry for a little bit.
Yeah,
and Elaine and Nesta
fucking worthless.
get her.
The worst.
He really does suck. He kind of went out on a high point when he was like, take me instead or something. When Farah was first kidnapped.
Just all downhill from there.
Yeah, and then he told her, like, don't come back. It's like, he was okay for a minute, and then, like, he just, all that good. He just undid all that good. But Elaine's cool. She helps Farah prepare for the trip. I really like this moment of Farah getting to know her sisters again, and her family doesn't suck.
Yeah.
That was another
nice.
subversion of expectations for a fairy tale, to be honest with you. The original family. It's
a little nice.
Yeah, they learned their lesson. And it's believable that they learned their lesson. Because, like, Nesta had this moment where, when we weren't rich, everybody hated us. And then when we got rich again, everybody just pretended they didn't spit on us. And
yeah.
I'm done with this. I'm done with this life.
But fuck them.
Farah was the only person who ever took care of us. And she's getting sold up the river? No.
Yeah.
I like Nesta.
Fuck 'em.
Nesta, 180 for me.
Yeah. That was another subversion of expectations. It was great, because she started out as not someone you liked at all, and then it's like, oh, she's like a person and shit. Huh.
Yeah. And you know what? I'd say it's kind of quick how all this happens, I will say.
Yeah, but we've already got like another like 40 chapters left of this fucking book, and like we gotta go.
Yeah, so like I liked it. was a good story beat. Glad it happened. It added to the book.
Agreed.
So, Feyre's going back. This time she means business. She suits up. She's got a bow and several arrows. It doesn't seem like the most solid plan.
I'm sure those arrows are definitely made of... Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. Well, shit. Yeah. No, it doesn't seem like a solid plan. You're right.
So she starts looking around the invisible wall, see if she can find any holes in it, which admittedly sounds like a task assigned to a person in hell. But she eventually finds like a rock with fairy writing on it or something that says like holes right here. And it's on her side of the wall, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess they need to get back.
Yeah,
so
Ben.
Anyway, she finds it. She gets through. And you know how this whole time they've been telling her, you don't leave the estate. There's so many more dangerous things between.
There's not. There's a wood. It was the woods that she knows very well. Yeah.
Yep, not one thing, not a naga, not a bog, not a nothing.
Yeah, it's all actually eerily silent, Ben. Ooh.
Eerily silent. So Feyre walks up. She goes to the summer court.
Spring court.
And not only is everything eerily silent, but the closer she gets, the more she realizes that the windows are smashed, the doors are barred, the whole place looks like a battlefield. Somebody stormed the estate, and somebody from within the estate tried to hold it. Paintings are torn off the walls. Broken glass just lines the hallways. Tables are flipped. Blood's everywhere. It's like something out of a disaster movie. So next time we'll get to the final part of the book. I'll give you guys an advanced warning, and I guess I'll give it again at the beginning of the next episode. This part of the book gets violent,
dark,
and dark.
It's a right turn. Everything before this you could think like standard YA novel, and then it takes a turn.
It's not like it's anywhere near the most violent thing we've covered on the podcast. It's just like, for this kind of book, you might not see it coming, and you might have thought like it was okay to listen to this if you don't like that stuff, but there's going to be a lot of violence. There's going to be a lot of triggering stuff, a lot of traumatic stuff.
So if you don't like that stuff, click on the next episode, listen for about 30 seconds so we get that download, and then
we'll try to make the first 10 minutes or so about Arby's again, just for consistency.
Yes, I'll find a way.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll tell you what. I am not going to read the where you can find us stuff anymore.
In Instagram and
it's in the
Threads
description.
And Twitter. There you go. In the description. There you go. You can just say that. Move on.
Yeah.
That works.
It's all in the description. But we have a Discord. Check that out. We're on all the socials that matter. And yeah.
But we do have shout-outs, Ben. That still matters.
But we do have shout-outs. So.
That's our chief source of income, apparently.
The one thing I'm going to add to the descriptions, I think, is the email address, just in case anybody needs to like get a hold of us for professional stuff.
Good call.
Now, patreon.com/WABpod. And on that Patreon, we have a yacht plan tier subscription. A subscription comically named for us to one day purchase a yacht. It is a frankly obscene amount of money, but there are several fine folks that have elected to pay that amount of money. And that has earned them a shout out at the end, where almost everybody has turned off the podcast. And those heroes, those champions, are as follows. Jamie, the If You Want the Gravy blog, where he reviews mostly movies, but sometimes snack foods, sometimes sodas.
I was hyping him up at dinner yesterday when he said that he had a blog, and I was like, he He goes over movies. He goes over sodas, snack foods, possibly air quality, water. He reviews everything.
Everything. Then we have Shy with a Y, on TikTok, making funny videos. We have Isekai Sensei Sama of the Here We Go. That time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster podcast, where you can hear him and sometimes me talking about Korean romance manga, which are exactly like this book, and you should check it out. We have John Bierce, actual author, writer of the Mage Errant series, The Rack, and a new one coming soon. John Bierce also has a Patreon you can check out, where you can get his short stories and vote on which short story will be released next. And then we have Jamie Walker. No project given. And maybe that makes Jamie Walker the coolest of them all. Think about that. Nate, as always, I'm going to ask you, give me one good soundbite to end on.
Yabba dabba doo. We shouldn't have voted for Biden. Should have gotten Ralph Nader in.
Have you seen Biden doing the... So this has nothing to do with A Court of Thorns and Roses, but have you seen Bidenomics?
Yes, it does. The Court of Thorns and Roses is a political thriller, Ben.
A political thriller, kind of, I guess. You could argue.
Ralph Nader's still alive. I think we definitively proved he was. So.
You keep asking like questions like I have never cared less about in my life than like Arby's is out of roast beef. Oh no. That super sad for whatever horrible circumstance led you to Arby's. But on the plus side, now you don't have to eat their disgusting roast beef.
Yeah, but I wasn't gonna to begin with. But
okay, roast beef. I'm gonna controversial statement. Roast beef, F tier sandwich meat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I would at least have put it in the D tier, Ben.
No.
Oh my.
It is like one of my least favorite sandwich meats.
Oh my god. Okay, what's your favorite, Ben? You have to share that now.
Hard salami. I don't eat it ever because it's terrible for you, but that's the best.
What about pastrami?
Nope.
Where does that just rank?
C.
C? Oh my god, Ben.
I'm cutting most of this. It's going to go in the Patreon.
Yeah,
extras,
it better.
So.
It better. This is what the patrons come to listen to. When they're done hearing us talk about books or whatever, they're like, I wonder if Arby's has roast beef. And then to their horror, they will find that there was no roast beef, Ben.
Maybe I'll put it after the end credits. If you're in our Discord, I want
Oh my god,
to know
Ralph Nader wrote a book in 2020. And then he wrote a cookbook.
Well, he put his name on a book. But no, if you're in our Discord, I want to see your sandwich meat tier list. And I want to know where you rank roast beef. Momo. If Arby's is ever out of roast beef, and I'm not saying this like...
I feel like you can't call out a pregnant woman for their weird food cravings.
No, I mean, if you crave roast beef from Arby's, I can attribute that to the pregnancy delirium. But
now, Ben, I will point out that there literally is a grocery store like right next to this particular Arby's. It's like a
Arby's has a passable gyro.
If you like, I don't know if I got if I want a gyro, I'm just gonna go to the the Greek
Oh
restaurants.
no, you should go to anywhere else that has a gyro before you go to Arby's. But if, like me, you're stranded at an Arby's because you were outvoted, the gyro is an option.
How were you outvoted? Was there?
I have
there
been
more
on
than,
road
there's more than
trips.
one person. Oh! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever's going on road trips and thinks that, like, roast beef is the food you want to eat on the road,
No, they're like, you want to pull
God,
over to
like,
get something to
did
eat?
they
And I'm
have,
like,
like, bowels of steel or something? Like,
almost no one I know. And perhaps you're a doctor. Maybe there's more to this set of coincidences. Maybe correlation does equal causation in this point. But the people I know that have the worst stomachs also eat the shittiest food.
huh? That's weird. I'm sure there's no correlation or causation or anything. That's just random chance and coincidence.